seeing you at shows too. I mean, I'm glad we were next to each other at Wicked. The other thing I love about you, Josh, and I hope you don't mind me saying this,
No, go ahead.
I love that you are a no bullshit guy when it becomes to like if a show sucks, like you know, like you tell. I love. I go to your Facebook whenever you do a show if I want to find out how it was, because I know I'm going to get the straight story from you.
Right.
Yeah. But I love that. I wish more people were like that though, because I don't understand. I don't know if it's like an image thing with people or an ego thing where they gotta not. I mean, we talked about this, Matt, too, where like they gotta not like, I guess, look bad that they didn't make money at a show. But it's better to tell everybody you didn't make money, so we know to avoid those crappy shows. You know?
Yeah. No, I know, and especially where the table prices are continuing to rise like crazy. Admission prices are rising like crazy. A cost of materials is rising. So yeah, if I can, I mean, not that I'm like on a soapbox or anything, but if I could, you know, save somebody some money for like, dude, don't do this show, because I've done some shows where I ended up in a field in Vermont with like one guy and one other tent, like weird shit, right? Like, pardon my French, but I feel like it's like why sugarcoat this, you know? And we talk about Northeast. You've mentioned Northeast Comic-Con. Like, I started doing those cons and they were great. But the same thing, the table prices keep going up. They charge you for a table on top of your space.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
You know?
It should all be one price.
And I love, you know, Gary's a great guy and a great promoter, but the guests aren't there. And if the guests aren't there, the traffic isn't there, and then I don't make any money, right? So I don't need this to survive, so I'd rather just have my weekend back, you know? But if I'm gonna go, I want it to at least cover the cost of going.
Yeah, like I almost feel like nowadays, like if I go to a convention, I want to at least make a profit now. Like I don't want to just make table. You know what I mean?
I'm too old to lose money, right?
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Like, you know, and we all have mortgages. We all have, you know, like bills,
right.
You know?
Yeah. And I hate to say that that's, you know, what it's about, because I'm obviously make art, create, grow an audience, whatever. But like, you see these Artist Alley kids and they're like 22, 23, and they got their costumes on and their little chibi drawings, and they're just happy to be at the show.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and they're getting their first taste and they're loving it. But like after, you know, I'm not at the point where I'd rather go mow my yard and get that done than spend a Sunday at a table that is at a dead convention.
Right. You don't want to be home. You don't want to be behind on your work, on your home stuff.
And,
you know, I hear that.
You know, 10, 15 years ago, I was gonna say 10, 15 years ago, Keith and I used to do every single show that would show up. Somebody would come up and say, "Oh, you know what? Go to Camden, New York, or Camden, New Jersey. There's a great little show there." And we're like, you know what? Let's do it. So we're driving down to Camden, and you know, we're pulling in and we're like, this is not the safest area to be in. This is not a good area to be in. My wife is like, you guys are going down to the carjack capital of the world. So she's all worried about it.
I remember when we announced that we were going on to that show on Facebook, I got half a dozen private messages like, do not go to Camden. Like
but we looked it up.
It was like the worst. Is it voted like one of the worst cities in the United States? It was like number one or something, right?
But for that run of shows that we were doing all the time, that was one of our best shows. Like, I remember walking out of there going, we had to do this again sometime if we make it out alive.
So Josh, it's the most bizarre thing. So they have a campus. It's Rutgers University, and it's right in the middle of Camden. So if you can get to the university, like everything within a block is fine. But if you go beyond that one block, you're asking for it, basically.
It is all, you get off the exit and you're driving, and it's all package stores.
It's like when the Griswolds get off on the wrong exit from the highway, and then like, windows up. You know?
It's exactly what it was. Look at this, already getting comments. Camden, the most dangerous city in New Jersey. Camden, New Jersey was once the most dangerous city in the USA.
It's not anymore because everybody's dead.
Yeah.
Isn't like that in Gary, Indiana, or something like that is the other one?
Well, I remember when we went to the show, I ran into an artist friend that I knew there, and he said to me, if you're walking, if you see a guy, you know, asleep on the streets in Camden, it's pretty good chances that guy's actually dead. You know, so I was like, okay, all right, now I know where.
And the one thing about that show too that I remember is how awesome it was. We were stuck on the bridge coming back. The George
we went by the
Washington Bridge.
Sopranos, Bada Bing Bar.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And,
you know,
and unfortunately, that was when we found out that Norman Lee passed away.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
And we were devastated. You want to talk about a guy that was so New England, so Boston, and you know, it was just it was such a euphoric. It was a scary going in day. It was euphoric leaving, and then we find that out while we're sitting on a bridge.
Yeah, that was crazy, and I'll never forget that year. I mean, me and you, Amy, were at. I mean, almost every weekend we were at a show, and that was nuts.
And I hear these horror stories of these old time con guys that have just been doing this for years and years. They all have these stories about, you know, these horrible things that have gone wrong and gone right. You know, there's tons of stories, and you know, I'm like what 4 years into this now, 5 years now, and I'm kind of like, all right, I haven't like it's gonna come. It hasn't happened to me yet, like where it's been like, oh, I almost died, you know, or something. But, you know, but I don't actually go that far for my shows either. I generally, the farthest one I think I did was Terrificon last year, and that wasn't great either. So,
yeah, I don't travel like I used to.
You know, and I kind of want to do San Diego. I did the special edition, but the problem with that show is like, it's the money to go to San Diego is ridiculous. Like you can never turn a profit. So.
We did San Diego with the toy website.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. And we got invited out there by a Japanese figure company called Kotobukiya. And we emceed their stage at their booth, like guest emceed. You know?
Cool.
Yeah. Then we had our own little table. I had some vinyl toys that I did and stuff. And man, that was so much fun. I went to like the Lucasfilm party. I went to designer toy things. Oh, it was just crazy. It was like, oh, is this what being a celebrity is like? I kind of like it, you know.
Well, yeah, well, I do know your site because of like how popular it was back in the day.
Yeah,
you know?
It was real. It was it was quite popular. You know, but now it's in retirement. It's like the retirement home version of a website. It's not. I'm not patching software bugs. I'm not updating the CMS. I'm not changing the way it looks. It's like it's going to have the same haircut from the 70s. You know.
Yeah.
He's used JavaScript.
Yeah, there you go. Who's using that, right?
What? What?